Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. Question for you. When you got into real estate, did you think that it was going to be easy? Did you think that you'd have people lined up around the corner asking you to help them buy or sell a house? Only to find out that it's really not? Not that easy? That's what I want to talk about today. I'm making this video as part of a sales training series for my Revolved Realty private group, but I thought I would go ahead and just release it out there because every month we are seeing more and more folks get their real estate license here in Madison County, and I would assume in other places. But I think last month the graduating class was probably 80 or so. And looking at the numbers, we're probably around 3,600 active real estate agents in the city of Huntsville. And I've talked about this before on videos, the percentage of agents who are actually making a living versus those who are not. And one thing that I talk about a lot, and I teach a lot to my agents, is this. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But it is possible to succeed in this business if you are willing to do everything that it takes to succeed. Now, I think the thing you've got to start with is realizing that we are in a sales business. Real estate is sales, pure and simple. We broker, we participate in the buying and selling of homes. To that end, you have to have a little bit of salesmanship. You have to have some experience. You have to have a thick skin. You have to be able to hang in there when things are going crazy, because I got to be honest with you, I've done, I don't know how many deals. Very rarely is a deal easy and simple and smooth. Very rarely. Anyway, that's a video for another day. What I want to talk about today are the things that you need to do once you have your license to start building your career. Because this is the one thing I hear more than anything from new licensees. I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to find clients. And that's what I want to talk about. The first thing you should do when you get your real estate license, and you've already gone through and you've found a broker and you've hung your license with them. I've done other videos on this. You can find them on my channel or ask, and I'll post them below. But to get started actually conducting business as a realtor, the very first thing you need to do is tell everyone. Tell everyone you know on social media, people in your contact list on your phone, people you meet on the street. You want to be proud of the fact and announce the fact that you now have your real estate license and you can help them buy or sell a home. Now, some folks don't take kindly to this. I can remember a number of years ago, my wife had just a very casual friend, and she was not a very good friend. And she, one day out of the blue, calls my wife, just like they talk every day and they're old buddies, to let her know that she was in real estate and that if she needed anything, she would be there for her. And of course, my wife is like, she hasn't called me in years. And then she calls me out of the blue wanting to know if she can be my realtor. So you're going to get that kind of reaction from folks, and that's perfectly normal. I mean, it's just, think about it, if you were in their shoes and you hadn't talked to someone in several years, but you never know. That person might actually have a need for a realtor, and it's good that you're on their radar screen. So that's step number one. Tell everyone you know what you're doing. Get those business cards printed up, get nice ones. I got to tell you, I see some butt-ass ugly business cards. You should not be handing these things out. Get nice professional photographs made, put them on nice professional cards, hand them out to everyone. All right, step number two, and this is where a lot of folks fall down, you have to prospect for business. And by prospect for business, I mean getting on the phone every day, cold calling for sell-by owners, cold calling expired listings, cold calling anybody and everybody who will pick up the phone to find out if they have a house for sale or if you can help them find a house. Cold calling is absolutely one of the hardest things for most people to do. I'm good at it. I never liked doing it, but I mean, in my mind, the worst that they could do is cuss me out and hang up. So it didn't really bother me that much. But I have seen agents literally break out into a cold sweat at the thought of picking up the phone This is a landline. This is a cell phone of picking up the phone and making those cold calls. But I got to tell you, folks, the agents who are the most successful that I know, including me, started off making cold calls every day for 2 or 3 hours a day. I would come into this office, I would get on the phone, and I would call until I had appointments set. So that's what it takes. If you are not comfortable cold calling, if you are not comfortable knocking on doors, if you are not comfortable walking up to people who are complete and utter strangers and introducing yourself as a realtor and asking if you can help them, you're not going to be in this business very long. Just the bottom line. Now, can you succeed without prospecting, cold calling? Maybe, probably. If you have another way of getting your name out there, if you've got money for billboards, TV and radio ads, or Facebook ads, maybe you can do that. You can do all kinds of marketing and advertising, but it is very expensive and it's very competitive. And nothing beats picking up the landline or cell phone and making those calls. But it's hard. A lot of people just can't do it. Another thing that I tell all of my new agents to do is this: hold open houses. I don't know why. Maybe it's because most realtors hate doing open houses. Most realtors just poo-poo the idea of doing an open house. Let me tell you, when I first got in this business, I did an open house every weekend, sometimes 2 a weekend. I met a lot of buyers that way. I met a lot of listing clients. In my mind, an open house, even if you just sit there for 2 hours eating chocolate chip cookies and waste your time, at least you're doing something. You're doing something. You are being proactive. And again, I have made a lot of good relationships. I've picked up a lot of customers, a lot of clients through open houses. Now, doing open houses, I will say this, it is an art. There's a hell of a lot more to it than just putting out some balloons on the mailbox and unlocking the door. Open houses are only good if you promote them, you market them, and you drive traffic to them. That's another video. We'll talk about that another time. Number 4, I think, is the most important thing you can learn to do as a realtor, and that is market yourself. You got to market yourself. I mean, you guys know me. I am the king of Facebook. I do 5, 10, 15 posts a day. I do videos. I do pictures. I do all kinds of stuff to get noticed, to get out there. Every time I put a sign in a yard, I'll take 3 or 4 pictures and put it on Facebook. So you've got to learn how to market yourself, because I got to tell you, your broker's not going to do it. No one's going to do it for you. You can hire people to do it, but they won't do as good a job as you do. So you've got to become a student of marketing, hopefully to become an expert at marketing. You've got to learn social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You should be on all of those platforms. You should be doing videos just like this. You've got a cell phone, do a video. I've got a whole social media course you can have for free. Just comment below and I'll drop you the link in a private message. I talk for 3 hours about learning to market yourself on social media. So in my mind, again, one of the most important things, you have to do this. You don't have a choice. You've got to learn to market yourself. There are 3,600 some odd agents in this town. How many of those do you think use video the way I do? Out of those, how many of them use video effectively? Okay, it's a good question. So, and I'm not saying that I'm the king of the hill here. I'm simply saying I know how to market, and my track record over the last 2 years proves that what I do works. So, all right, so learn to market yourself. Next, you're going to want referrals. After you've been in the business for a while, like for where I am now after a couple of years, the majority of my business comes from marketing myself and referrals and my sphere of influence, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. I love referrals. I love them because it is a satisfied client typically telling a potential client how great you are and what a good job you did for them. Referrals are gold in our business. I don't know if you've ever seen my car, but it's got my big giant head and a house on the side of the car. The Millers, that was their house. It was one of the very first houses I've ever listed and sold. Beautiful house. I put it on the side of my car. Ms. Miller has referred me, gosh, 5 or 6 clients over the last year or so, simply because of the relationship that I built with her and her husband. So referrals are great. Always ask for referrals. Every time you do a deal at the closing table, just ask, hey, if you're happy with what I did for you, who do you know that I might could call? They may not even have a house to sell right now. Can you give me the names of 5 of your friends or family that I could just call and say, hey, I just helped Sandra and Buddy with their house. If you ever have a need for what I do, please contact me. Here's my information. So referrals are important. And finally, your sphere of influence should be one of your biggest sources of clients. Sphere of influence simply means everybody you know. Everybody you know on social media, people you know at church, people you might know at school, some organization that you are in. What sphere of influence are you in? And then once you, what you have to do is go back to what we talked about in step 1. And that's tell everybody. Tell everyone. If you're in a church group, let everyone know that you're a realtor. Give them one of those nice looking cards that you had done. You know, if your kids are in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or you belong to some organization, you know, the sphere of influence goes along with telling everyone you know that you now are a real estate agent and you're there to help them. All right. So whether you realized it or not, realtors, especially you new folks, we're in a sales business. Business does not drop out of the sky in your lap. You have to be proactive, especially in the first year, or you will starve. Did you know the average realtor sells 5 houses a year? And 90% of realtors don't make it past year 1 or 2. And this is why, because they don't do all of the things on my handy dandy list. So, you know, a lot of realtors come to the realization after a little while that maybe this business is not necessarily for them. You know, I've had realtors say, I wish I knew all of this before I went to the trouble of getting my license, because I never would have, because I'm not cut out for this business. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. It's just one of those things, you know, there is a ton of business out there, but it's a very competitive industry. A lot of people are vying for that same listing and that same client. And I always operate under the auspices that the loudest kid in class gets the most attention. I'm that kid. I am the loudest kid in class. So there you go. Tell everyone that you now have your license and you can help them. Get good at prospecting, get on the phone, call those VISBOs, call those expireds, get out and knock some doors, do open houses. There is it's an art to doing an open house. We'll do another video about that. Learn to market yourself I think that should be the number one thing, because if you don't know how to market yourself, the odds that folks will even notice that you are there are slim to none. So, and then work those referrals and again, go after your sphere of influence. So I hope that was helpful to you. Again, I'm going to post this in our private group. We have a Revolved Realty private group just for my agents, but I'm also going to put this out in the, I think the Real Estate Success Strategies website, because I think this is important stuff. And again, I am certainly no prophet on the subject. I just know what I did to be successful, and it worked for me. Hey, if I can do anything for you, if you would like to just have a cup of coffee and talk about your career, if you'd like to learn more about Revolved Realty, I'm always looking for my next great rock star. Just give me a call, 256-679-0704, or direct message me off of this video, or just drop in a comment below, and I'd be happy to help you in any way I can. All right, that's it. Get out there and make it a great day.